Hello! Today I wanted to do a different type of video that I haven't done this type of style of video before, and it is a tag. I was not tagged by anyone. I don't really consider myself to be part of any kind of community, and I don't really have, I guess, friends on with other people who film or anything or talk to them that much. I've always kind of been a bit of an outcast and a loner, and it's funny because this my channel isn't really any different, but I saw this tag and it is the luxury addict tag, and I love the questions. I think they're really fun and I wanted to answer them, so I decided I'm just gonna film the video and answer the questions for you. So before I get started, I am wearing my little tie-dye. This is actually a beach bikini cover-up, but I wear it as a dress. It's like this green tie-dye effect color, and it's like completely cut out in the back, but I am wearing my denim shirt slash jacket. I usually wear it as a jacket. You can wear it as a shirt, but it's from H&M, and I've had it for probably 5 years, and it is one of my favorite pieces that I own because I wear it every single summer from spring to fall because it is so versatile and goes with everything. So that is what I'm wearing today, and I'm gonna jump into the questions. So the first question is, what was your first designer piece? And my first designer piece was a pair of Christian Louboutin shoes, and they were red patent. They were called the Madame Claude d'Orsay pumps, and I have since gotten rid of them because I no longer wear heels, but that was like my first luxury piece, and I was so excited because, I mean, I loved shoes, and Christian Louboutin was like the epitome of shoes, I suppose, for me in my world. And the first handbag, however, I purchased was the Louis Vuitton Neverfull MM and Demi Eben. I have also since gotten rid of the bag because it wasn't for me. Okay, so the next question is, what do you consider your best investment? And I think probably every single video I've seen, the answer usually is the Chanel Jumbo Flap or Classic Flap, or the Chanel Classic Flap basically is the answer to probably almost everybody's video. However, I don't own that bag, I don't like that bag, and I have kind of a different answer, and I think that my best investment in terms of investment, like financially probably and wearability wise, is the Louis Vuitton Speedy, and I have the 25 bandolier in the monogram, but I think the Speedy in the monogram or the Demi Eben probably not deserves much because it tends to show dirt and wear a lot more in the size 25 or the 30, maybe the 35, although 35 is a lot less versatile for a lot of buyers, and like if you're gonna resell it. And the bandolier or the regular Speedy, I think, is a good investment because, I mean, this bag has been out for almost 100 years. It has still a really big cult following. There's still a huge demand for the bag, and if you wanted to resell it, you can get most, if not all, of your money back, but like very close to most of it back. I mean, I got a Demi Eben Speedy 30, and 4 months later I sold it, and I only lost a couple $100s. It was very insignificant, and that was with seller fees because I used a different channel and platform to sell it through, so I had to pay seller fees, and I mean, I barely lost out on anything. So, and it was 4 months later, the price hadn't increased at that point, so I think this bag holds its value so well. And from a usability, practicality standpoint, I think this is such a beautiful bag. It is such a classic shape. I mean, it's iconic. It's been out for almost 100 years and people still love and use it. And so for that reason, I think that you really can't go wrong with this bag, because even if you don't like it, you can always resell it and recoup most of your investment or money you put into it. And also, I mean, there's a reason that this bag is so popular, is because it's just so easy to use. It goes with everything, and it's really a classic, iconic style and shape, and I honestly think you can't go wrong with this bag as an investment or potential investment. Okay, so the next question is, even though it's not my favorite bag, I'm not sure how some of the other bags would, be if you tried to resell them, so I think that one is the one that's probably your safest bet. Okay, so what is your criteria when looking to buy a piece? For me, I really value quality in an item. So if even if it's not something super expensive or something that is really expensive, quality is something like number one I look for. I really like when an item, like I can't explain it, I don't know if I can explain it, but it's like it feels like luxury. There's like the way it's made and the leather and the feel of it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm not a huge fan of Prada. Is even though their handbags are designer and they're expensive, most of their stuff doesn't feel like quality, and it just feels almost plasticized to a certain extent, and I really like quality. Even if it's, you know, a scarf or if it's a pair of shoes, just the way they like to the touch, tactile feeling of them, the structure of them, the materials used, the smell of the item. Also, another thing that I look for is if I really like it. I don't see the point of buying something just because it's popular, just because everybody else has it, or it's the trend at the moment. I only like to buy the things that I'm absolutely 100% in love with, because ultimately, no matter what is in trend or in style, you're gonna be stuck using it, and you're gonna be the one who spent this money on this item that you could have put elsewhere. And if you don't love it wholeheartedly, then I feel like the whole point is lost, because you're not gonna get the, I guess, the joy out of it as much. So that's what I look for. I like things that are very well made and they're like high quality, and things that I really, really, really love. That's why I don't know if I have like any kind of specific style to my items or my wardrobe, my decor. It's just, it's very eclectic because it's just everything that I like, and I just kind of put it together. Okay, so the next question is, what has been your stupidest or most regrettable purchase? Okay, I kind of have, I think, two things for this answer. Number one, the most dumbest, the regrettable purchase I've ever had was a pair of Chanel earrings, and they had the rhinestones. They were the classic little CC with the rhinestones in there, and that was probably almost 5 years ago now that I got them. And I didn't know anything about Chanel. I didn't know anything about I didn't do my research on them. I just kind of bought them and that was it. And they were horrible quality. I mean, now I understand why, you know, I would never go purchase a pair of Chanel earrings now, but the quality was just so bad on it. The rhinestones fell out within the first month, and yes, they'll repair it to you for free of charge. Well, they did. I don't know about it now, but they used to, and they would send it off for like 2-3 months at a time. One time I had to wait 5 months for their repair to come in, and that is just absurd. I mean, altogether, the whole time of me having them, I mean, if I had like a month of cumulative wear, like, I'm being generous. Like, most of the time I had them, they were being sent off for repair. And I think that I mean, at that point, I don't know if I even knew that they were just fashion jewelry with little crystals glued onto the thing. I think they're so overpriced for what they are. The quality is horrible, like, it's terrible. And I should have done my research, but that was I guess before I got into doing research and, you know, watching reviews and reading things about products and brands, etc. And yeah, I've since gotten rid of them. I no longer own them, and I will never purchase Chanel fashion jewelry ever again. Another item, and the reason I even got them is because there was this movie, I don't know if any of you have seen it or remember it, and it was John Tucker Must Die, and like there was a scene where this girl just leans over and she has little CC earrings, and they just looked so elegant and cute and pretty that I was obsessed with them, and I was so excited to get them, but little did I know how much I would come to regret that purchase. The second thing was my Emily wallet by Louis Vuitton, and that was a very recent one, but I regret that wallet because I feel like I didn't do everything I could have done to remedy the situation. I saw that it was, you know, starting to get damaged and like outside of normal wear, and instead of like going to the store or trying to like do something about it, I just sold the wallet and got it out of my life. And sometimes I wish that I would have come back to the store and had them try to fix the situation, but I never would have known I didn't like the wallet unless I used it. So it's kind of a regrettable thing, but I don't like that wallet, and if I had to like redo it, I wouldn't purchase it again. And the next question is, and the reason why is because I kind of had an inkling feeling that that place where I had the wear and the damage on the wallet, before I bought it, I had a feeling that it might happen there, and I didn't listen to my inner instinct and bought it anyway. Okay, the next question is, if you have sold any of your luxury goods, have you ever had seller's regret? I have never had seller's regret. I sell pretty much everything I've ever owned. Like, if I'm done using it and I no longer have that like love for the item, I get rid of it, because I don't see the point of having something that you're not 100% in love with. And for me, I don't have seller's regret, because once I have something that's starting to bother me about the item, or something I don't like, I'm done with it. Like, I don't want it anymore. I never use it. I don't like it anymore. I don't like seeing it. I don't like, you know, being around it and having it in my life. So I try to get rid of it as quickly as I can so that I can buy something else. And another thing is that when I start having thoughts of selling something, it's usually for a reason. And if I got to that point, then there was something about it that I didn't like exactly. So if I sell it, I don't regret it, because it's like, you know, my inner instinct was telling me that it's not the right item for me anymore. The next question is, what is a piece that you think everyone should or needs to have? And this is another question that almost everybody shows, the Louis Vuitton clay, and I have mine right here, and I love it, and I think this is a great piece, and I do recommend it for probably everyone, because you can seriously use it for so many different things. I love it. I've had it for a couple years, and I love this piece. And out of handbags or SLGs, then this is definitely something that, you know, try to like go for it. Everybody could find a use for it, I think. But for me, above that, I like, for my style and personality, I really think that having a nice quality scarf, if you live in like a environment or a climate that does have seasons and it changes, like if you're living in Hawaii, you probably don't need a scarf, but like if you live in that kind of environment, a nice quality scarf will go a long way. And one of my personal favorites is the Burberry shawl, and this is the one that's like the big square with the little fringes, and I really like this white, red, blue color as opposed to the brown color, because this to me looks a little more like modern and fresh. And I absolutely love this. I think it's a fairly affordable price point, considering it's a designer scarf. It's $395, and it is 100% wool, made in Scotland. It smells really good because of my perfume, but I love this shawl. And the reason why I think a nice scarf will like go a long way is because it is something that when it's like, you know, cold, you're constantly wearing, it's number one, it's really warm. Like a nice quality scarf is well made, and it is warm, and it keeps you cozy, and it's just, I really like having like a nice scarf around my neck when it is cold and wintry and what have you. And I think a nice scarf just adds that another element to your look as well, and it elevates your, you know, look and what you're wearing. And so it is, and also for the practicality and usefulness of the item, it is after. And I don't really like cheaper scarves, and it doesn't have to be like a designer scarf to be a nice scarf, but I don't like those kind of, you know, you go into Target and there's like 300 scarves, or some kind of, or like Zara scarves and things like that, because most of the time they are acrylic or synthetic materials, and they don't keep you warm. They don't, you know, serve their purpose, because they are synthetic. And like a nice wool or cashmere, or, you know, some kind of silk cashmere wool blend scarf will really last you well and serve you, well, I guess that's what I was trying to say. And this is probably the one I would recommend, because it's a very popular scarf. Again, like with the Alma BB, I can totally see why this is such a popular item and why everybody loves it. And you know, I don't think you can go wrong with this specific one, or whichever one that you like. And plus the quality on this one is fantastic. Okay, so the last question is, oh no, sorry, not the last, there's two more. What is a piece that you think is overhyped? And for me personally, I think backpacks are completely overhyped. I don't understand them. I don't see the point of little backpacks, and like the Palm Springs backpack, and like MCM has backpacks, and Chanel came out with a backpack, and I honestly just, don't get it. I don't know, like I don't think it looks nice. It looks very sporty, and I don't see how like walking around the city with a backpack is like, you know, dressed up. It doesn't matter if it costs $5,000 for like Chanel backpack. It just doesn't look very nice and put together, I think, and I don't really like them. I think they're kind of a waste of money, because I just don't see them being in style for a long time, because backpacks are something that are a recurring style every couple decades, but they never really last. And so I just don't like the way they look. The last question is, what is next on your wish list? And I have like a long wish list, but at the same time I don't have a long wish list, because there's like a lot of things that I want, but there's not a lot of things that I actually want to purchase. And probably one of the things that's kind of to the top of my wish list is the Dolce & Gabbana Sicily bag. And I had that bag for a nanosecond and I had to return it, but that style was really, really nice. And so maybe not in that print and maybe not right now, but generally I want to purchase the Sicily bag because I think the quality is great and I really love the shape and the style and the look of it, and I really like that handbag, so I would really like that. I also really want the Louis Vuitton Stefan Sprouse leopard shawl, but I'm not going to purchase it right now because we are coming into summer, so maybe when winter comes around I will look into buying that. Another thing, there was something else that I wanted. Oh, I definitely want a pair of the Nicholas Kirkwood, I think it's the Bea flat, and they're completely like sold out on every retailer. I can't find them anywhere in my size, and I really want a pair of those. I never really looked into Nicholas Kirkwood shoes, and then somebody suggested it for me, which thank you by the way, and I am like obsessed with those shoes now and I want to find them, but I can't. So fingers crossed they'll come up somewhere and I'll be able to get my hands on them, because they look gorgeous and they have like such good reviews. So I definitely want a pair of the Bea loafer flats, moccasins, whatever they're called. I think that's the Bea, I'm not sure. And I think that is it. I mean, I do want to get a what is that bag called? Oh, the Hermes Kelly, but that's more of a long-term wish list. I don't know how soon, or like I am willing to go purchase that handbag, but that is something that I have had on my like more towards the, not the near future, but soon rather than long-term kind of wish list. I hope that makes sense. So I think that's it. Those are all the questions. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.